Far away from Earth, deep in the center of the galaxy, the Galactic Empire sat on its golden throne of stars. Thousands of alien species lived under its rule. The Empire was powerful, proud, and feared by all. Any planet that resisted them was crushed quickly. One day, a strange blue planet appeared on their radar. It was called Earth. It had never contacted the galaxy, never joined any council, and never sent messages into deep space anymore. For the Empire, this silence was a problem. Unknown worlds could be dangerous. The High Command met in a shining metal chamber floating above their capital world. "We have let this Earth grow for too long," said Admiral Vorak, a tall creature with cold silver eyes. "Its technology rises fast. Its people are too independent. They are not part of the system. That makes them a threat." The Empress, sitting on her high throne, nodded once. "Send a fleet. Make Earth obey. If they resist, destroy them." Across the stars in Earth's orbit, the sky seemed normal. No one on Earth knew what was coming. But in a secret underground base beneath Antarctica, a human named General Keller stared at the satellite feed in silence. "Movement in Sector 88. A young officer said. General Keller nodded. "It's finally happening." He stood up and walked to a large digital table. A hologram appeared 12 enemy fleets entering the outer solar system. Each fleet had over 500 warships. Massive, dark, and covered in glowing runes. "Do they know who we are?" Another officer asked quietly. "They think we're weak," Keller said. "Let's not correct them yet." The Galactic fleet moved forward with confidence. Their commanders laughed at Earth's silence. "No message, no defense, no attempt to talk," one alien captain said. "Primitive species." They sent probes. The probes disappeared. They sent scout ships. The scouts went silent. The commanders didn't care. "Let them hide," said Fleet Lord Urvax. "When we arrive, their skies will burn." Back on Earth, General Keller gave a calm order. Full blackout. Activate GhostNet. Across the planet, satellites shut down. Earth fell silent. All broadcasts, all signals, even radio waves gone to the outside world. Earth simply vanished in. The Galactic Council. News spread quickly. "Earth is dark," a lizard-like ambassador said. "No contact, no trace." "Are they scared?" asked another alien. "No, I think they're hiding something." But the Empire ignored the warnings. They sent more fleets. Inside the main command ship of the Imperial Armada, an officer shouted, "We're receiving a signal." Everyone turned. The screen flickered, filled with static. Then a voice, human, cold and calm, spoke. "This is Earth. Turn back. This is your only warning." Then silence. The aliens laughed. "One voice? That's their warning? Send the full force." General Keller stood before a large window in Earth's hidden command center. He watched the stars, knowing that the enemy was coming fast. "Do you think they'll listen?" His assistant asked. "No," Keller said, "but they'll remember." He turned toward the war table. Dozens of red lights blinked, each one a hidden weapon. Each one a defense the galaxy had never seen out above Mars. The first Imperial fleet. "Prepared for orbit. Ready plasma cannons," said Captain Bauer. "Let's wake the humans up." But just as they approached, something happened. Earth's moon, quiet and cold for centuries, opened up. Giant panels slid away, revealing weapons. Built into its surface, silent, deadly. Within seconds, red energy beams fired from the moon's hidden defense systems. 3 Imperial warships exploded before they knew what hit them. The rest of the fleet scattered in panic. "Where did that come from?" shouted one officer. It's from the moon." "It's weaponized." Back on Earth, Keller gave the order. Phase 2. Let them feel the silence. And across the sky, more surprises waited. Not just satellites, but ghost ships, cloaked defense nets, and weapons that didn't exist in any alien database. The Empire had made a mistake. They thought Earth was quiet because it was weak. We're wrong. Earth was quiet because it was ready. Asterisk the Galactic Empire was confused. Their first fleet had been hit hard. They had lost over 20 ships in less than 2 minutes. And no enemy had been seen. No fighters. No messages. No faces. Just fire from the dark. Captain VOR, now shaken, sent a new report to the Empire's High Council. Earth is not what we believed. Their moon is armed. Their signals are dead. There. Silence. It's planned. But the Empress of the Empire didn't believe him. They are still insects, she hissed, just with sharper claws. Send another fleet. And so, a second wave of ships entered the solar system, bigger, heavier, filled with elite soldiers. They planned to make first contact. On Earth, General Keller stood before a dark room filled with glowing blue screens. He didn't smile. He didn't blink. He was waiting. They're trying again, said a woman beside him. Her name was Dr. Lana Ray, a cyber expert. They're sending landing pods toward Africa, Asia, and Europe. Keller nodded slowly. Let them land. Make them think they're welcome. Outside, Earth stayed silent. The armies moved. No jets. Scrambled. The humans were ghosts. The Empire's pods touched down in open fields, deserts, and mountains. Alien soldiers stepped out, tall and armored. They looked around. No resistance. One of them laughed. They are cowards. Look, no one even came to greet us. Suddenly, a sound rang through the air. It wasn't a weapon. It was a signal. A voice. Human. Female. Sharp and clear. You have entered our soil uninvited. This is your final warning. Leave. Then silence again. The soldiers pointed their weapons in every direction. Still, no one appeared. And then, the ground moved. In the African desert, the sand exploded upward. Long black machines, sleek, fast, spider-like, burst out and pulled. 3 alien tanks underground. In the mountains, snow cracked open and released silent flying drones. They swirled like birds, then cut through enemy shields with invisible blades. In the European forests, trees lit up. Not fire. Lasers. Thousands of small red dots danced across the soldiers' armor. 1 second passed. 2. Then chaos. Back in orbit, Captain VOR screamed into the comms. They are everywhere. We don't see them. They strike from shadows. We are losing ground. One of his officers gasped. Sir? We've lost contact with all landing teams. Every signal gone. VOR couldn't believe it. No, that's not possible. No one wins without showing their armies. But Earth wasn't following the rules. In Earth's main base, General Keller turned to Dr. Ray. Patch into their fleet, he ordered. She nodded and typed quickly. Moments later, the Empire's flagship's main screen flickered. The image of a human appeared. Keller's face, calm and emotionless. This is Earth. We gave you a chance. You ignored it. Now listen carefully. We do not want war. But if war comes to our home, we will show you what silence can do. Then, the screen turned black again. Panic began to spread in the Empire's fleets. Ships moved closer together. Shields were raised. No one knew where the next attack would come from. A younger alien commander whispered, Maybe we should leave. Maybe this world is cursed. But the older generals refused. We do not retreat from primitives. Back on Earth, Keller looked. At the live feed, alien commanders yelled at each other. Soldiers ran back to their pods. Confusion, fear. And Earth stayed quiet. No celebration. No noise. Just cold silence. In the Galactic Council, leaders of other alien worlds watched the footage. From far away, This planet, Earth. What are they? One ambassador asked. They are not part of our records, said another, but they've been watching us. And they've been planning. They didn't respond because they were afraid, a deep voice said. No, whispered another. They didn't respond because they were deciding. In the final hours of that day, a strange event shook the outer space lanes. Every ship in the Empire's Second Fleet suddenly received the same signal direct, clean and simple. This was just a lesson. Come closer, and we'll teach you. Extinction. Then a location marker flashed. The edge of Earth's orbit. It was a challenge, or a trap. But it was clear now Earth was not just defending. Earth was testing its enemies. And the galaxy had no idea how far humanity was willing to go. ***. The stars above Earth were quiet again. The Empire's Second Fleet had been humiliated. Their strongest soldiers had disappeared without a trace. Their ships were still floating in orbit, but they didn't dare move forward. Inside the Galactic Archive Center, far from the battlefield, a scholar named Urexbal watched the chaos with wide eyes. He was not a soldier. He was not a leader. He was a historian, a keeper of ancient signals, lost languages, and old warnings. And something about Earth's silence felt familiar to him. He opened a dusty data vault. Its name, Unclaimed Planetary Transmissions, year 7830. There it was, a forgotten signal, over 100 years old, sent from Earth.untranslatted.ignored.urex. Clicked play. The message came through slowly. The voice was human, calm, male, but its words were chilling. We are the children of war. We are born from fire and chaos. We do not look for fights, but if you come to us, if you try to own, we will not run. We will not beg. We will become your greatest mistake. This is Earth. Remember that name. Then silence. No threats. No screams. Just a calm warning from a species no one had taken seriously. Urex swallowed hard. Why didn't we study this? His assistant, a younger alien, looked afraid. Because we thought they were nothing. Just another primitive world. Urex stood quickly. They gave us a chance, over a century ago, and we laughed. Back in orbit, Captain Vor sat alone on the command bridge. His officers were quiet. His screens showed nothing. No human ships, no movement, no life. It was worse than war. It was like being hunted by ghosts. Suddenly, a strange object was detected near the edge of the fleet. Small, round, not a ship. Bring it in, Vor ordered. When the probe was opened, it played a hologram automatically. This time, it was a woman. Human. She wore no armor, no weapon. Just a plain black suit and a serious face. We have counted your ships. We have mapped your weapons. We know your commanders by name. This is not strength. This is exposure. Your next step decides your survival. The probe then self-destructed. On Earth, General Keller watched as the Empire hesitated. They're finally thinking, he said. Dr. Lana Ray nodded. They're scared. Keller didn't smile. Good, but we're not done. He pressed a button on the console. Across the galaxy, in secret corners of space, old satellites that had been drifting silent for years lit up. These were part of Project Echo, a human-made system designed to send one signal to all corners of the galaxy at once. And that signal had just been triggered. Within hours, over 300 alien civilizations received it. It wasn't a threat. It was a recording. A memory. Footage of Earth's darkest wars. Images of cities destroyed and rebuilt. Clips of humans surviving floods, fires, disease, and always fighting back. One line appeared again and again. We are still here. In the Galactic Council, panic began to rise. They've been watching us for a century, said one ambassador, studying us while we ignored them. They didn't send diplomats. They sent ghosts. A council leader shouted, "We must respond. We must remind them who rules the galaxy." But Yurex stood up, holding the old Earth message. "No," he said. "We've already made our mistake." Everyone turned to him. This message, he held it high, was a warning, not a threat. They told us what would happen. We just didn't listen. Silence fell across the council chamber. Back above Earth, a strange energy pulse was detected from deep space. It wasn't from the Empire. It wasn't from Earth. It was from somewhere else. A forgotten listening post near the edge of the galaxy. It had just reawakened after decades of silence. It had one file stored. A voice from an unknown human explorer, sent long ago. "If you find this, and you're planning to take Earth, don't. We fight differently. We survive differently. We don't stop when we lose. We evolve. We are not your enemy unless you make us one." Captain VOR watched his screen as this message was intercepted and decoded by every ship in the fleet. He felt his hands shake. "Recall all ships." He whispered. "What?" his second-in-command asked. "We are not prepared for this war. Not with them." Inside Earth's command base, Dr. Ray looked at the updated galactic channels. "They're backing off," she said. "Pulling ships out of orbit." Keller nodded once. "Let them go. But keep the sky armed." Far above Earth, the last of the enemy ships turned away. The stars fell silent again. But this time, the galaxy knew something it hadn't known before. Earth was no longer just a distant blue planet. It was a message, a warning, a power that had been silent for too long, and now it had spoken. The Empire thought it was over. They believed Earth had made its point and would now return to silence. After all, their fleets had pulled back. The humans hadn't chased them. No counterattack had come. Space around Earth was quiet again. Too quiet. Inside the Empire's War Council chamber, the generals stood around a star map. "They showed strength," one said, "but they didn't attack us. That means they fear us." Another nodded. "We should wait. Watch them, then strike when they least expect it." But not all agreed. Captain Veo stood alone in the corner, eyes sunken and voice low. "No," he said. "That silence is not surrender. It's a trap." They laughed at him, but Earth was already moving. In the dark shadows of space, near Saturn's orbit, strange shapes floated long, black and still. These were Earth's ghost ships, invisible to radar, undetectable by heat, powered by silent drives. Each one was armed with weapons the Empire had never seen: quantum detonators, neural scramblers, and blacklight bombs. But they didn't move. They waited, because this wasn't just a defense anymore. This was a test. General Keller stared at the screen deep inside Earth's command base. The Ghost Fleet was in place. Their AI systems were fully armed. The Empire didn't know they were surrounded. "Do you think they'll come back?" Dr. Lana Ray asked. "They always do," Keller replied. "Bullies hate silence. It makes them nervous." He turned to a communication officer. "Open the backdoor beacon. Just a little." A signal was sent. Faint, weak, almost like a mistake. It said, "Earth systems vulnerable. Power grid unstable. Main defenses resetting." It was fake. And the Empire received it. In the Empire's war room, alarms buzzed. "New signal from Earth," an officer said. "Their shields are down. They're exposed." The room filled with excitement. "This is our chance." Admiral Threx, one of the Empire's most aggressive commanders, grinned. "Prepare a stealth strike fleet. Only a few ships. Fast in, fast out. Captain VOR stepped forward. Don't. It's bait. Threx growled. You fear insects. I'll crush them while they sleep. Without permission from the High Council, Threx launched 10 ships toward Earth. The moment the enemy ships entered orbit, the trap activated. Above Saturn, Earth's ghost fleet came alive. No lights. No noise. Just movement, like shadows in water. They slid forward fast, precise, deadly. Inside the lead enemy ship, alarm screamed. Unknown objects detected. Multiple targets closing fast. What kind of ships are these? They're not on any database. And then, nothing. No time to escape. No time to fire. All 10 Empire ships vanished in under 20 seconds. Not even debris was left. Back at Empire. Command. They watched in horror. One by one, the ship signals went dead. And then a message arrived, sent directly to every Empire station. This was your final test. You failed. Earth does not sleep. Earth does not forget. Leave now, or the next silence you hear will be your own. Panic spread through the Empire. News reached the Empress. Her face turned cold. They are provoking us. But, deep inside, she felt something else. Fear. Not of Earth's weapons, but of their control, their ability to strike without rage. To destroy without sound. To disappear, and reappear only when it mattered. On a far-off mining colony, a group of alien workers watched the news. Is it true? One whispered, did Earth destroy an entire fleet without showing itself? An older alien nodded. They've been building while we've been laughing. In the Galactic Council, voices argued loudly. We must form a peace treaty. No sanctions. No run. Yurex Val stood and raised his hand. He spoke calmly. Earth offered warnings. We ignored them. They laid a trap not to destroy, but to see who among us would still try to control them. He looked around. And we did. We failed. Again. Back on Earth, General Keller stood before a large screen showing the stars. The trap is complete, Dr. Ray said. No, Keller replied. It's just the beginning. She looked at him. Do we attack next? Keller shook his head. We don't need to. They'll destroy themselves, trying to understand us. The Empire recalled its fleets. Its leaders fell silent. And across the stars, one name spread like a whisper through every station, every world, every species. Earth, not as a colony, not as a target, but as a warning. Asterisk. The stars were still. No ships moved toward Earth now. The Galactic Empire had gone quiet. Their fleets were pulled back. Their channels were silent. No more threats. No more warnings. But silence didn't mean peace. It meant fear. And questions. Questions. No one in the galaxy could answer. What is Earth? Who are the humans? Why didn't they break under pressure, like so many others had? On a quiet moon base orbiting a gas giant, thousands of light years away, the Galactic Scholar Council gathered. Not soldiers, not commanders, thinkers, historians, scientists. Their job was to study dangerous civilizations and find patterns. And now, all eyes were on Earth. Inside a round hall made of glowing stone. Alien minds reviewed every known record of humanity. Earth has never been part of any galactic network, said a green-skinned archivist. They ignored every invitation. They even refused peaceful trade, said another. They chose to remain hidden. But look at their history, whispered Yurex Val, pointing to a large hologram. The room darkened. Thousands of images appeared in the air-burning cities, fallen empires, rising flags, explosions. And then, after every fall, rebuilding. They destroyed themselves. Again and again, said one scholar. Wars between nations, civil fights, poison in their skies, machines turning against them. And yet, Yurex added. They always came back, stronger. The aliens stared in silence. They don't fear pain. They don't fear death. They fear only one thing, Yurex said softly. Being controlled. The room shifted. That was a dot. That was the truth dot far. Away, inside Earth's command bunker, General Keller walked through a dim corridor. Behind thick glass, massive servers buzzed quietly, each one holding information Earth had kept hidden for decades. Dr. Lana Ray joined him. They're digging into our history, she said. Keller nodded. Good. Let them learn. Should we stop them? No, he replied. Let them understand why we gave no warning, why we offered no mercy. He paused, then added, We've been through worse than war. They think we fight to win, but we fight to survive. There's a difference. In the Scholar Council chamber, Yurex played the next file. A human soldier, face covered in blood and dirt, stared into a broken camera and said, We don't fight because we want to. We fight because no one else will. Another clip showed doctors in war zones, children pulling others from rubble, people choosing to help even when everything burned. These aren't monsters, said one alien slowly. They're something else. Yurex nodded. They're chaos with purpose, fire with memory, rage with rules. The room filled with a strange silence. Not fear, not hatred, but respect. They were beginning to understand. Meanwhile, in the Empire's throne room, the Empress watched the reports. They're calling Earth untouchable, her advisor said. The Empress clenched her clawed fingers. They're just one world. They're one world that made the entire galaxy stop moving, he replied quietly. The Empress stared at the stars. If we can't crush them, then we must know them. A secret order was sent out. Thousands of probes were launched toward Earth. They were small, fast, nearly invisible. But Earth was ready. As each probe crossed the outer limit of the solar system, they were hijacked, not destroyed. Instead, they were sent back with one file. It showed a field full of graves. Then a line of text appeared. Every time we fall, we rise again. What will you do when it's your turn? In the Scholar Council, the last message was played. A human scientist, standing beside a broken rocket, once said, We looked up at the stars not because they were safe, but because they were there. And when the stars looked back at us with hunger, we didn't blink. No one in the galaxy could explain it fully. Humans weren't the strongest. They weren't the smartest, but they were something else. Unpredictable. Unstoppable. UNTAMED. And now, every civilization knew. You don't threaten Earth. You listen. You learn. Or you disappear. On Earth, Keller stood before a large window, staring at the stars. Are they afraid? Dr. Ray asked. They're not just afraid, Keller answered. They're awake. She nodded slowly. Do you think they'll ever understand us? Keller's voice was low. Only if they stop looking at our weapons and start looking at our scars. In the darkness of space, somewhere near the edge of known territory, a single message traveled quietly from one system to another. Earth survived itself. That's all you need to know. And in that truth, the galaxy found something it never expected. Respect. Asterisk. The dark space between Earth and the invading fleet was silent. The Galactic Empire's ships had stopped. For hours now, they hadn't moved. No messages. No scans. Nothing. It was as if they were waiting for something. Back on Earth, Commander Reyna stood in the underground control bunker, her fingers tapping the edge of the table. Are they scanning us? She asked. No, ma'am. They've powered down most sensors, the tech responded, puzzled. It's like they're afraid of waking something. Reyna's eyes narrowed. And it's time. She turned to the communications officer. Send it. The officer's hands trembled as he entered the code. Last transmission. Going out now. Above Earth, aboard the Empire's flagship, Admiral Kralos watched the hologram screen as a human signal flickered to life. It wasn't a warning or a call for peace. It was a recording. A single human stood in a dark room. No weapons. No armor. Just calm eyes. The man spoke in a flat, steady tone. This is Earth's final message. You sent fleets. You sent fire. And now you wait. But let me ask you, do you know what you're waiting for? Kralos leaned forward. You're waiting because you felt it. That cold breath on your neck, that unease in your bones. That's not fear. That's instinct. And it's telling you the truth. The man stepped closer. The truth is, we were never alone on Earth. For thousands of years, something ancient slept beneath us. We didn't dig it up. We woke it up. The image changed. Not just a man now. Ruins, symbols, energy readings far beyond what any known tech could produce. We don't control it. We don't understand it. But when you came, it looked at us and said, "Are they the enemy?" We said yes. The feed ended. Total silence filled the bridge. Kralos felt something he had never felt in battle before, pure dread. His fleet was vast, powerful, but nothing they had seen explained this. This wasn't war. This was a warning. On Earth, in the control bunker, Rhaenys stared at the blank screen. The response from the Empire was still nothing. No words. No threats. Then suddenly one of the satellites picked up movement. Not from the Empire, but from deep under the Earth. A signal. A pulse, like a heartbeat. Rhaena whispered, "It's awake." A vibration passed through the planet's crust. Not like an earthquake, but like something rising. Above Earth, the sky changed color for a brief second. Then the stars flickered as if reacting to a presence too ancient for language, too powerful for war. Back on the Empire's flagship, systems began failing one by one. "No viruses," the engineers shouted. "It's not human tech, it's something else." Ships started turning away from Earth. Some broke formation. Some even jumped to hyperspace without orders. Admiral Kralos stood frozen, jaw clenched. It wasn't just a bluff. In deep space, far beyond any sensor's range, an ancient being opened its eyes again. It had been sleeping long before Earth was born. Now it had been stirred by noise, by violence. And by one very simple human request: protect us. It did not care for humans. It did not hate the Empire. But it remembered war. And it liked silence. The next morning, Earth's skies were calm. The stars looked normal again. No trace of the Empire's fleet remained. No wreckage. No signals. Just emptiness. Rhaena stepped outside, breathing the fresh morning air. "We sent the warning," she said. "Now the galaxy will listen." Behind her, a technician asked, "What if they come again?" Rhaena didn't answer at first. Then she smiled. "Let's hope they don't."